not in the studio. I have to record it, save it to the hard drive. um, so it took a moment to register on um, Facebook. Right. And so we have about a good 3 minutes before we actually go on air. So I want to say good morning to everyone out there listening on Facebook. Turn my ringer off. I am joined by members of United Voices Gospel Choir. They're going to be sharing some updates and everything in between, some upcoming performances. In the midst of COVID, the show must go on, but in a limited capacity. So they're going to be sharing all of that. Wow, I look bright. Okay. It work. All righty. Y'all doing all right this morning? Everybody awake?
Praise God. Hallelujah.
Yes.
And so for those of you who are not new to the show and new to them being on, y'all know I always try to get them to sing, but there's a little slide today.
Oh. Yes.
Since they're not all in one location. Well, I just slide today. Maybe individually just drop a note or something, but
Everybody just sing one line.
We have some other exciting news. They have a new single out. They just keep on building on this EP/album/collection/whatever playlist. So definitely want to talk about that and what went into making that. So yeah, again, just a lot of wonderful things. So y'all just stay tuned. We'll be on air soon. Don't want the on-air people to miss out on the conversation. But we will still be live on Facebook in between the breaks, so they're gonna miss some of the good stuff.
Oh Lord.
Well,
yeah, because every single time we sit out there, we'll go on break on the radio and we'll be having the best conversation and we're back. And we'll just sit there and be like, all right.
Now, some of the conversations we used to have, we can't have them.
Oh Lord.
Right.
Don't tell on us.
Look.
But there's a lot of funny stuff that's been coming out. I saw the video. I saw a comedian talk about the video yesterday. I'm like, some people just go out. Some people don't need the microphone in church. Just don't don't pass the mic.
There's a song this morning that should have been retired years ago, but people are still singing. And I'm trying to figure out what in the pentatonics y'all sitting here doing vocal jazz on the song too. Somebody beatboxing and I was like, Lord, I need to teach my kids that. When he got to that second verse, I said,
I said what? Because I was getting breakfast. I can't say where because of advertising, but I was getting breakfast and Aaron sends me that, and I'm like, what in the world? I said,
all right, y'all. We got 20 seconds before we go on air, so y'all ready?
Can they see us? Oh, okay.
They can see it.
I'm glad you decided to. Everybody decided to wear their hair today.
Yeah, all right. Mine was dusty.
Oh gosh. All right, y'all.
Told y'all.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Wednesday to you. You're tuning to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I am joined by some members of the United Voices Gospel Choir this morning. We have the president, Mr. Travis Moore, the leader, director, songwriter, everything in between, Mr. Edward Fisher. We have Miss Skylar West, and we also have Mr. Christopher Crutchfield. How y'all doing this morning? These are college students, so they're up. I thank you for getting on up at 9 o'clock and joining us this morning. So without further ado, we're just going to get right into our conversation. And I want to say good morning to Miss Linda Johnson Frazier. Thank you for checking in, and everyone else who's checked in. Share this video. We have quite a few things to share. So let's just start at the top. They have a new single that's just released called "Lead the Way." Now, what number single? What number does this make for you all?
4.
Number
4?
4.
This number
And
4.
today is All Gospel Wednesday, so you should hear the song played at some point on today. So tuning in. If you hear it, give them a shout out. So let's just go right into what went into making this song. What was the inspiration? How long did it take? Like, give us some background.
I've actually had this song since June of this past summer. And normal times when I get songs, I have to be like, you know what, God, if it's your will and we actually record it, then great. If not, then it was your will too. But basically, the song is basically talking about how through everything, United Voices being disbanded at first, and then us bringing it back, and how much we've grown in such a short time. We've been really just trying to listen to the voice of God and listen to how he wants us to go about doing things, and we've been able to prosper through everything, despite whether it was the support of trying to get everybody to remember that, hey, we're still here, or things like that. He's just been mighty good to us, and even now in the midst of this pandemic, we're still getting blessed and everything. So that was just the song, just saying, hey, whatever you want us to do, lead the way, and we will follow, because we haven't got this far without doing that in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. And so let's talk about the recording process. Some people think, okay, go into a booth and lay it out and bam, it's done. Like, tell us about the process.
Not at
No.
all.
Well, first off, let me apologize to the choir members. I apologize, because the thing is y'all know my creative brain is crazy. We literally rehearsed that song for about 3-4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We rehearsed the song. We went in the studio and recorded. The song sounds totally different than what we actually did in rehearsals. And everybody heard it back. It was like, what? And I'm like, well, at the end of the day, that was just my creative brain working. But when I tell you, it's still in the fact of we have new people, singing with masks on, everything like that. We have new people, and we finally got to the point to where we were recording, because it's a lot of our new people and some people who have led before that were actually leading on the song. And so when we literally had them just one-on-one, where they were in there by themselves and they could sit there and do whatever, we was like, oh, okay, y'all can really sing. Because we heard y'all sing without masks the whole time. So it was just really, we were so grateful for it, because we're like, this level of talent and anointing is still coming into the place, and we're just really grateful for it. But that was really what it was, is us going into the studio, and I'm like, okay, well, y'all sing this now. They're like, okay, and they can just replicate it with the ease. So I'm truly grateful, and I'm grateful for how it came
out. Alrighty. So Christopher, Skylar, would you like to share your thoughts, emotions that went into
For me, recording sometimes it can be like frustrating, because sometimes you get in the booth and you're singing like the same part over and over and over again until you get it right. And it's just, sometimes this is like, especially when you're like a perfectionist in your own head, and it's just like, oh, I know it should sound like this, but it's not sounding like how I know it should sound. And so it's just like, you just got to keep doing it and keep doing it. So it's not a one time get in the booth and boom, you're done. No, you're going to keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. And it can be frustrating, but it's a lot of fun, especially when you're with, your family, your group, your family in Christ. It's a lot of fun, and you just create a lot of memories. And so I'm thankful for the times that I've been in the booth. So.
Great, thank you. Christopher, you want to chime in?
Yes. So for me, I'm gonna say this was my first time in the studio. Was when we recorded "Lead the Way," and it was an amazing experience. Like Aaron said, there was a lot of like changing and things like that. So it's like a lot of learning on the spot. But overall, it was a great experience, and I really liked it.
Thank you. Awesome. All right. So as y'all know, Aaron is always writing, always working on something. So look forward to more songs coming down the pipeline. So Travis, this is not your first rodeo. What was it like for you?
Oh, it was, I always say it's not my first rodeo. It's funny that you said. It was very different considering the circumstances. Of course, we ended up having to move to a different avenue, a different vendor because of just spacing, as far as maintaining the social distance and all COVID guidelines. So that was new in itself. But the process was very kind of relieving after a semester of making sure you got this right, that right, as far as rehearsals and protocols with the university and everything else. It's kind of just a relieving factor just to, especially with being a president, just to finally come in, okay, somebody's else in charge, Aaron's in charge of this session, okay, I just got to sing on my business. And so that was it was very refreshing process, and to know that we actually have a choir of people who could sing, because we really could not tell what we had last semester. We just couldn't.
Wow. Okay. All right. So, Aaron, I'm sure you've seen some growth, because it's been a minute since y'all have been together recording and things like that. And so you've seen quite a bit of growth in the choir.
I've seen a lot of growth in the choir, and I've seen a lot of new people come in and they just slide right on in like they've been a part of the family the whole time. And we still do see some of our old members who have graduated. We're just like, come on back. But it's really crazy. And just even in this season, and shout out to Dr. Damfish, shout out to Miss Rouse, shout out to Miss Spack, who actually gave us permission to do this, because the one thing about Travis D. Moore is he's not going to let nothing go on that we know is not going to be out of excellence when it all gets all said and done. So that's why I was like, okay, can we even do this? But they've been really supportive of us the entire time, especially like we in the middle of a pandemic. We were like, well, we're going to be social distance, all this stuff. And they're like, sure, go ahead. Let us know when it come out. And we just like, y'all really just said, yeah, okay. So it's been a lot of growth, and we've been growing even more spiritually. We're doing our devotionals, doing service, and just praying together even more so, because we got a lot more time because of the guidelines. So we've had to reformat our rehearsals, but the level of growth is far, far beyond anything we've been doing.
And I think that's like it's just a testament to how the choir is, because we're just like, if you're in rehearsals with us, it's just very chill, it's very laid back. We joke, we kid, we have fun like the entire time. And I think that's why, we get new members and they feel so comfortable and to just be themselves, because we're comfortable enough to be ourselves in front of them and just have fun and not put like any pressure on them like that. So I just think that's just a testament to Travis and Cal, who's not here, and Aaron, for just making that space free and open and just free to worship. So
that's awesome.
Thank you, Secretary West. And just to attest to Skylar has recently just been appointed as secretary, because at the start of the semester, of course, we had our previous secretary through major change and all that. She just felt like, well, I see it as a team effort, and really I don't have the time to contribute. So I had to do a search, and she was the first person that came to mind and actually inquired about the position. So she's kind of fresh behind the ears when it comes to this position, but of course she's been in United Voices, and she's doing an excellent job, as well as Christopher, who's in his second year in his position as parliamentary historian. So we also have a good board as well, who plays an essential role in helping everyone, survive and everything.
Survive, okay.
Yes.
We're going to definitely get into some conversation about what it's like being a college student in the choir, but I want to make sure to get some important dates in. Sorry. You all do have an upcoming performance, March the 10th. Go ahead.
So March the 10th, we will be at the Rock. We go to the Rock every year. Look at me, Skylar. We will be at the Rock. We love fellowshipping with the Rock. Last year, we actually sang with the Rock. We chose some songs they did, and we all came together, and we did not make it past the fourth song because we were so deep in work. Girl, we was gone. Ooh, we was gone. So it was a great experience to just come together and actually really be the definition of community, coming together with all the different races, all the different preferences of worship, and nobody was judged. It's just a free atmosphere, and we tried to keep that within our rehearsals. It's a free atmosphere, and we went to the Rock that we know is going to be a free atmosphere to worship as well. So that's what we're going to be doing. It's going to be a little bit different again, just because of the distance, but it's going to be fun because we're actually doing something different. And this is actually Raven, our treasurer, her vision. She was talking about last year when we tried to do a virtual rehearsal of basically everybody just saying how we are and how we actually get through rehearsal. So we're actually going to be demonstrating how we actually, it's going to be like basically another rehearsal for us, but we're inviting everybody else to come in and like interact with us and sing with us and stuff like that. So whether you are in the place social distance or you're actually viewing it online, it'll be the same way. So it's going to be real cool.
Awesome. I want to say good morning to Derek Coleman. He says good morning to the future. Yeah, these are our future leaders.
Thank you.
Sorry. I'm sorry, y'all.
Oh, you're good. Let it out. The devil can't have his way on this morning.
Oh, needs to be released. Oh, but again, Lord. Okay, stay focused. March 10th, The Rock of NEA, 7 p.m.
Yeah.
So mark your calendars. Make plans. Well, I say make plans to be there. Is there a building suitable enough for people to really space out, or have they set a limit to how many people can actually
Oh yeah,
show
that's
up?
a huge church.
Huh?
They have a huge facility, so you should be able to come. You should be able to come social distance. If you want to watch virtually at home, that way can't nobody hear your wrong notes, then that's fine too. Amen. Hopefully nobody will hear ours, but to God be the glory anyhow.
Look, I'm the person that I know I can't sing, but something within me just won't stop me.
And that's okay. That's okay.
That's all right.
That's all right.
Ooh, child.
I have gotten more tolerable of wrong notes ever since I've been. But when I first, and Aaron can attest, when I first came in, especially when he asked you to be president, I said, "Are you sure?" But I done got a little bit better with maybe these masks I can't hear. I think that might be what it is. But Chris will tell you, I'll turn around, look at that tenor section, and a little bit like, "Is this?"
He will.
Maybe out of a different rehearsal. I don't know what rehearsal. But the Lord is growing me, amen.
When we go to break, y'all have to share some of those behind the scenes stories. I want to hear Chris tell some of those stories since he's, been in the choir for a while. I know he has quite a few tales to tell, but we got to keep it PG. And, can't get kicked off air. So. Oh, goodness. All right. So we are still, rounding out Black History Month. And so you all always participate in something in some shape, form, or fashion. So you all have an event coming up. It's a Black History tribute. So tell us more about that.
Black History tribute is going to be tonight. And Travis, I see your face. It's going to be tonight at 7 p.m. And it will actually be live on our YouTube channel. We do have our YouTube channel up, and it'll also be on our United Voices Facebook page as well. And it's basically it's a quick little, it's just 5-minute video. It's not gonna take up your whole life. But it's just 5-minute video of us talking about our history and how we seem to be forgotten and how we're still making history now and honoring some of the living legends that are living today within Black history.
Wow. And so when you say we're forgotten, like we as Black people or the choir?
Yes, we as Black people.
Okay. And so is every choir member giving, doing a little part in this production?
Well, I will say that it does feature our song Lead the Way. So technically, yes.
Okay.
But I mean, everybody is a part. I mean, truthfully enough, everybody is a part of this history, just with everything United Voices has done. They're a part of the history as well, because there's never been a entity on campus to actually record actually do a studio recording of any song. So we are the first. So United Voices is still doing stuff historically, because I named them like the historic United Voices Gospel Choir, because it's been 50 years, but that was our goal. Our advisor, Miss Sharon, shout out to her. But that was basically our goal, is to still keep on kind of breaking the mold and say, well, United Voices is still relevant because, and keep doing stuff to that effect.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I want to give a shout out to Mrs. Shanquetta Cunningham and to Dean Dr. Sharice Jones Branch. Thank you all so much for checking in this morning. Tell us about, how does it feel? I want each of you to share in our last 3 minutes of this segment, what it means to be in the midst of Black History Month, even though we're Black History 24/7, 365. But, especially for this month and doing this production and being a part of this choir, what does it mean to each of you? So ladies first, Skylar.
That's a really good question. I haven't really thought about that. But I think for me, Black history, it's like a reminder of how far as a community we have come. And not only that, but despite all the obstacles, despite all the institutional racism, despite discrimination, despite, segregation, civil rights, Jim Crow, despite everything, we have made it so far. But not only have we made it so far, but we have a lot more to go. We have a lot more in the future that we can and that we will do. And it's just a reminder that, look, we've done all of this. We can keep going. We can keep bettering our community, keep investing in ourselves, investing in our communities, keep teaching our children, and, keep teaching, unfortunately, keep teaching those outside of our race about Black history and how important Black history is to us and why Black history is important to us. So I look at it as a celebration of how far we've come and where we're going to be in the future, but also as an opportunity to educate those who unfortunately are ignorant to Black history and why Black history is important, and things like that. So
awesome. Mr. Christopher.
It's kind of hard to follow that up, but last semester or last spring, I wasn't really involved in school that much, but this spring, this whole year, I've been blessed to be in a lot of more organizations to kind of broaden my horizon on multicultures and things like that. And I'm gonna say this month I've learned so much being in the Black History Month planning committee and learning about all these wonderful events that they're having, and then going to these events and listening to everybody hear what they have to say and listening to the Black History Month lectures and things like that. It just means a lot to learn more about my history and things like that.
Thank you. All right, so we have about a minute in this segment. So, Aaron or Travis, if you want to take it away, then we'll continue on once we go to break.
Travis.
Black history has always been dear to my heart. Ever since I was always fascinated with Black history ever since I was in third, second grade. And then over the years, when I got to high school, I was actually the Black history chairperson. I coordinate the programs, all that sort of thing. So basically, coming into Black history now at the university level, like Chris said, with the planning committee, of course, I'm not on that committee, but you see what they're doing and what he's doing. And even in this, even with this position with United Voices, it's kind of like, because when I first came in, okay, I was asked, and then Aaron called back and say, okay, you'll have office this year. And I'm like, okay. And Ms. Sharon said, that's just been the first time the United Voices ever had an office on campus. I'm in the office now, actually. And United Voices has been on campus for over 50 years. And she said that they have never, because she advised back in the 90s as well. And she said they had never had an office at all for as long as the Leadership Center has been around. So even this is a historical moment. And just to know that we stand on shoulders of giants, and we're just here just to continue their legacy and add a twist to our own. So that's just always a humbling thing.
All right, we'll put a pause right there. We'll take a quick break off air, but the conversation will continue on Facebook. So those of you listening, jump on Facebook. So Aaron's going to share his statement, and then we'll be right back after these announcements. Okay, go ahead, Aaron.
Well, I think and then I was just talking to somebody about this yesterday. What I think is really crazy is I'm a music teacher now, so I teach choir and I also teach music appreciation. And so I've literally in my curriculum, because they've actually allowed me to make my own curriculum instead of having to follow stuff, I've actually littered the entire curriculum with going back and forth to specific things that Black people have done throughout the whole semester. Because I mean, if you sit up there and you just wait to do stuff in February, well, people who do be there first semester gonna miss out on that same information. So just incorporate it into the curriculum. But I think it's crazy, and that was some of the things that the students were saying last year, because we went through the Harlem Renaissance period, which was the boom of gospel music and jazz and blues and all of these iconic stuff that we still listen to today. So every single time we went into a new unit, they realized, oh, this just goes back to the Harlem Renaissance when the African Americans did this. And so one of them even said, kids do not have no filter whatsoever. But one of them said she was like, well, it's really crazy. Like, this is just the proof in the pudding that they try to take our culture, but they don't appreciate our people. And I was like, well, that's truthfully enough the correct thing. So it's really important being a part of an organization. And we all say this, United Voices just happens to be full of Black folks. Like, it's an open forum for anybody to come in that loves the Lord and wants to sing. But we happen to be like this. So if it's the Lord's will, then we will continue going. But because of the history behind it being the BSA choir for some time until becoming United Voices, it's really important for us to keep on carrying on that history of who started this, what was the reason why behind it, just so when you move forward, you still have those clear goals in mind.
That's awesome. And hopefully, as each new member comes in, they can see what was, what is, and what can be, and they can continue that legacy and impart that, like, they can put a part of themselves into it and say, okay, here's my legacy that I'm leaving to the choir and to the future generations to come. I want to see, I want to see, depending on how old I am, UV be around for another 20 plus odd, infinity, so if I'm blessed to be here for another 20, 30, 40 years, I want to see it continue.
Yes. Speak it into the atmosphere.
Yes.
And
it's all about the seed you are planting now. We're about to go back on air, so we'll get into conversation. Okay. A few seconds. This the one of this the marker.
Right.
Welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I'm your host, Kalila Jones. I'm joined by members of the United Voices Gospel Choir. In the first segment, we talked about their new single, Lead the Way. So check that out. It's available on all the streaming services. Show your love and support for them and drop them an encouraging message. They have a performance coming up on March 10th at the Rock of 88, 7 p.m. You can join in person or virtual. They also have they're doing a production for Black History Month on February tonight, 7 o'clock. And so please check that out. Will that be live on YouTube and Facebook?
Live YouTube and Facebook.
Okay, so please check that out. Give them your time, give them your love and support on that as well. So we're going to keep the ball rolling, keep the conversation rolling here. So you'll have another series of events. It's UV Week, March 8th to the 12th. So tell us about what's the significance behind UV Week. Is that part of your Founders Day or Founders Time, or?
I think ideally that's the concept. It was the vision of our treasurer, our capable treasurer, Ms. Raven Jackson. Unfortunately, she was unable to be here this morning, but at our board meeting back in January of 2019. That's about right. She mentioned, because at the beginning of every new calendar year, I always ask the board, okay, what do we want to do this semester, whatever. And so she mentioned that. Well, of course, we really didn't get it. That year, we really didn't get it in because of just all the things we were doing, and we were still trying to learn our positions. I was trying to get some things settled with the office and everything. So January of 2020, it was brought back up, of course. And of course, pandemic. And so this year, 2021, I talked to Raven. I said, okay, we can do this. The board approved. Let's go, our advisor and support. Let's go ahead and get it off the ground. So the purpose of it is just to take time to really reflect and just celebrate and fellowship, on campus of United Voices Gospel Choir. It's been here for over 50 years. Our theme for this year's first, I guess, is our inaugural UV week is an evolution, reflection of over 50 years in ministry.
Wow.
So we're talking about, how we've evolved and just reflecting on what's been done over the course of many years before. This year, we are doing a series of events. We're doing on not necessarily a smaller scale, because I don't think there's nothing small when it comes to United Voices. In between Aaron, myself, and the rest of the board, I think everybody's brain is kind of crazy. But it's definitely just a time to, really just make it intimate as far as campus. Then in the future, we do hope to, have opportunities to have fellowship with former alumni and directors and all that sort of thing in the future. And hopefully, once we actually get confirmed when United Voices was actually founded, the actual date, month, year, it'll be around that time. But yes, it's definitely an idea of birth from Raven Jackson, our treasurer.
All right. So can you give us some insight to some of the activities or events you have planned for that week?
I think we have we have game night that week. We're doing we're having like we're gonna be tabling outside of the union, just trying to encourage people to come join United Voices, come check us out, see what we do and things like that. And then the big event that we centered everything around was the worship night at the Rock NEA, which is like you said, Tuesday on the 10th, or Wednesday on the 10th, excuse me. And then we're having like a flashback Friday where we kind of just just post and reminisce about United Voices Week, and it's everything is pretty much virtual, except for game night and things like that. We have a couple other events. I can't remember. What am I missing, y'all?
Thursday is going to be Fundraiser Night. I got that confirmed yesterday morning.
Yes.
Matter of fact, Fundraiser Night is Cinnabon, and we will be creating an event on Facebook and letting that be known via our Facebook page. And we're also encouraging, Monday is our typical rehearsal night, but we're also encouraging it to be a more open rehearsal. Of course, rehearsals are open, but it's kind of like bring a friend to rehearsal.
Okay.
So we're encouraging, our choir members to bring their friends, their roommates, say, hey, all right, after you leave the calf, come to the Centennial Hall, excuse me, so we can fellowship and, increase our membership through that. And I think, am I missing anything?
No, I think that was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Aaron, with your teaching schedule, are you going to be able to join them for some of those days on campus?
Oh, yes, I surely will. I surely will. I mean, that always goes into mine because I try not to put too much on myself, and I do anyway, but I prioritize things. So that's definitely a priority of mine for that week.
Alrighty. Now, I know while you all are reflecting, I don't know if y'all ever sang the song. For whatever reason, it's popping up in my spirit. I would love to hear y'all do some random singing, like in the union, but melodies from heaven somehow. I would love to hear that. Just like
Hey, I was more afraid of the song that I thought you were going to say.
What you thought I was gonna say, Aaron? Would we lose Aaron? Okay. Hello.
And gonna put that on the suggestion list.
Okay. Did we lose? I think we lost.
I'm here.
Back.
Yeah.
Okay. What you say about my song suggestion, Aaron?
No, I thought you was gonna say open the floodgates. I think you made me feel tired of the song.
No. No. We're gonna move. We're gonna roll over that one though.
Right.
So, anytime during this week, are y'all gonna have? You said you have a table out in the Union. We have some refreshments or snacks or any
Yeah.
kind of little takeaways.
Yeah, I think we're doing cupcakes and punch. I think that's what we last agreed
And
on.
yes, as far as I know, we'll have refreshments at the tabling from 12 to 2 p.m. I believe is the tabling. And then we'll also have refreshments at our game nights.
Okay.
One thing we try and be show as much hospitality as possible with our events.
Y'all got the microphone and the speaker for some random karaoke or something. They gotta,
Ooh, that's a good idea.
That is a good idea.
but they gotta sing a gospel song. See,
Or do like
That'd be like-
gospel karaoke.
That
that
would
would be so fun.
That'd be
No,
fun. That's
what
a good idea.
Did we have an idea talk about now? Because we can't do that because we are not the Sunday service choir. And talk about changing other songs in the choir.
That was
song.
my idea.
I was like, no. Like somebody gonna
Damn.
choose the wrong song.
Look, that's a to be continued.
We'll
The
vote
one thing
on.
I would love, one project I would love. I know I'm probably a little old to appreciate this movie, but Pitch Perfect. Have y'all ever thought about doing any kind of mashup? I think I've asked y'all this before. Have y'all ever thought about doing some type of mashup not just a performance, but just a recording or something?
I think we have actually like in practice done a couple of like mashups of songs. But I don't think we've ever like recorded it or sang it, publicly or anything like that. But
I mean,
we do it
probably
in practice
sang
all
them,
the time.
but we do mashup. We'll go in from one song to another song and just keep on going. Just when we have so we basically mash up everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. And so before we get to the upcoming plans, y'all know Aaron and Travis can always ask these questions. And I think Skylar has been in on this, but so I always ask everyone, what is it like being a part of this choir, being a young person on campus? We talked about what it means during Black History Month, but in the midst of everything that's going on, just being a young person staying rooted in your faith. What does it mean to you and what does this choir mean to you? So we'll start with, sorry, y'all ladies first again.
Yes, amen.
I'll say that I think joining United Voices, I joined United Voices when I was kind of in not really a great space in life. I was like new in my own faith and own relationship with God when I joined United Voices, and I was going through, a couple of things in life when I joined United Voices, and I think United Voices was actually kind of what saved me because Chad, I'm gonna cry.
Don't you do it.
I United Voices, it gave me that atmosphere and it made me feel so unashamed to worship God. And previously I felt very like, I gotta be conservative, I can't express my worship. I can't express my love. And just joining United Voices, it just showed me that no. That's what you need to do. That's what you have to do. You have to express your love for God. You have to, be free and open to worship. And so when I learned that, and when I accepted it, I began to look forward to going to United Voices. Like I'm talking about Tuesday nights, my schedule was clear because I had to go to United Voices. I had to be dedicated to United Voices. And when nobody gonna take me from United Voices. And just going to United Voices, it just encouraged me so much more to actually take my relationship with Christ serious and it's of course it's hard, being in school and trying to manage a relationship with God and manage, school relationship with other people, all your other organizations and whatever. So of course, it's gonna take a little bit to get balance and find what works for you. But my mama always said, you make time for whatever you want to make time for. And the things that you make time for, that's what you really value and that's what you really cherish. And so United Voices is something that I value, something that I cherish. And so I was like, you know what? This is something I have to make time for. So,
Awesome.
Thank you to United Voices for saving me.
All right then. Mr. Christopher?
Yes. I would like to say, United Voices is always something that we can just, take that time out to give to God. And it's like just taking a moment away from school and college and everything, because we always have work, we always have to study and things like that. But that's just like that one time that we can take to worship God and spend time with Him. And the atmosphere is wonderful. Like Scholar said,
Yeah.
it's just like a family and a community of people that's always going to be there for you. So
That's awesome. Thank you. And then, like, for you as a young man, and then Aaron and Travis can chime in on this, as a young man in this world and on campus, and the peer pressure, and I used to be young once and
yeah.
on campus. So just give us a little more insight to how UV kind of helps you stay grounded and focused.
Okay. Okay. So, ever since I was a child, my parents instilled in me faith and things like that. I grew up in the church and things like that, and kind of like going away from home, you kind of like, sometimes lose your way, but somehow you always, come back to God in some way. And I feel like UV was that. Um, I would, I'd say like being in like band and all these other organizations and stuff, it's kind of hard to like manage your time, like Scholar said. But like she said, also, you do make time for what you want. And so I just had to make sure that I was giving time to God, and that's what I had to do. And so I did that.
All right,
Especially
thank
growing up
you.
in like an inner city. Me and Chris were from, Little Rock, North Little Rock area. And so
Okay.
it's really easy to get caught up in the wrong world and get caught up in the wrong life. And so, just being a man in Christ, that's something that you don't, especially a young man, like, 19, 20, 21 years old, you just don't really see that a lot, especially in our, nowadays. And so I just commend Chris and Travis and, every other male United Voices for just being able to stay focused and choose the path that, that they're on. So
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Mr. Travis.
Oh Lord, I feel like this is about my fourth time. I should just write my answers down, but it's consistent every time. United Voices. I was a part of the first choir that was reinstated. I joined United Voices fall 2019, and that's when Aaron and Miss Sharon, reinstated it. I came in a little later, and basically how I came in was Aaron was, of course, under the tutelage of Miss Cherie Collins, writing music for her for male chorus. I was in male chorus. And so I had been seeing him for, a few weeks. I think about the 5th, 6 weeks of classes. He kind of asked me, said, would you come to United Voices rehearsal or whatever? And so I didn't know he was a director. He just asked me about coming to rehearsal. As far as I knew, I thought he was just a person playing or whatever. And so I came and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the atmosphere, the family atmosphere. And at that time, when I came to college, I wasn't thinking about nobody. I wasn't trying to make nobody friends. I was just focused on getting this bachelor's of music education and doing what I got to do. Like that was my main focus. And so getting a degree period. And so for him, include me in that type of atmosphere, and from that, our friendship and mentorship, and Aaron and I are practically brothers now. And so, from it being birthed from this, kind of like, okay, from this, I gained a distance brother. Well, really, I don't even have any biological brothers. So a brother, and then just a fellowship with Chris and Scott, and just the rest of the choir. And then being challenged to go back into, student organization leadership again, as pertaining to being present United Voices. It's overall, it's been an overall worth the experience. It definitely keeps you grounded. It keeps you out of trouble. And, because like you said, I'm sure Chris and Aaron can attest, back when he joined as a student, it's definitely challenges and things you can get into on campus that, might not be good for you. But to have that reminder, and Kyle, when he says you don't want to kill your witness, act like you got some sense. And so it's definitely, I'm like Skylar, it's definitely a saving process for me, being someone who wasn't really raised in the church, who found his relationship himself, but still coming from college, being away from home at the same time, and having that freedom.
All right, awesome. Thank you. Mr. Aaron, is he still on here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
I I would just say with my role as director, and I think I can speak for Kyle and Miss Sharon, I know that our main priority when bringing United Voices back was to create a safe space and a judgment-free zone. And I love hearing the testimonies from the members who actually feel like we have achieved that. So it's a blessing to me. So just with everything that has went on, and remember, that's why we have the single Lead the Way. I think it's a testament to us. We are one of the only religious organizations that are still active on campus. Mm-hmm. So that's saying something. For we don't have our own building. We sit up there and we meet in Centennial Hall on Monday nights. But we don't have our own building or things like that. And we're still in the middle of a global pandemic, but we're still operational and still thriving. And so I think that speaks to when the morality is in the right place, then you can prosper. And so we have to sit there, and I know people were praying for certain things to happen, but we have to learn to accept what God allows and to keep moving forward. And so it's a responsibility not only on me, and they already know, not only on them, but up to every minister, pastor, whoever is in leadership, to sit up there and be an example of how an actual Christian is, not somebody that just talks about it, but somebody actually carries on the action. And the reason for the judgment-free zone in the first place is because just because somebody does something different does not mean that it's wrong. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a big confusion that comes along of because somebody does not worship like the way you do, or somebody doesn't sing like the way you do it. We might not be singing the same songs that you think we should be. At the end of the day, if people are still finding God and staying close to God and being healed and saved and restored, then what's the issue? There's nothing to complain about. So I think you really have to sit there and just think and make sure, Travis, I think you really have to sit up there and just make sure we sit up there, we play a lot, we have fun, we enjoy ourselves. But the biggest thing, both Kyle and I have talked about multiple times, is we're going to sit up there, we're going to lead them to God and allow them to find their own relationship with him. Because everybody's relationship is not the same, or it's not on the same level. So right. I really, so my prayer is that after this point in time and things like that, when things do go back to normal, is that not only United Voices, we're able to go out in the community even more and fellowship with more churches, but everybody else in the community starts coming together better and actually comes together for the right reasons and comes together to sit up there and say, okay, we're on one accord.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much for that. I want to say good morning to Dominique Phillips for checking in. Hey, darling, how you doing? All right, so we're going to get ready to take another quick break. We are going to continue the conversation off air because I want to hear some behind the scenes stories that won't get us kicked off air. So, gotta keep it PG, keep it clean. But anyway, y'all, we're gonna take a quick break for those of you listening on air. If you want to jump on Facebook, you can join the rest of the conversation. But we will be back with these young people after the break. We have again Mr. Travis Moore, Christopher Crutchfield, Skylar West, and Aaron Fisher from United Voices Gospel Choir. They are on the campus of Arkansas State University, but they serve the community as well. But we'll be right back with more. We'll talk about their upcoming plans. So stay tuned. All right, y'all. So we're still live. So let's hear some stories. Like, what are practices like? I know sometimes y'all can be silly in practice. Sometimes y'all going to full worship. Who want to share some stories?
I'm already share one because this one is from last year because it was so funny. We were singing "He's Able," and God is able to do that one. We were singing that song, and I literally took them up in key 14 times, and they kept on singing.
I'm playing.
And so both me and Kyle was looking at each other like, these folks can sing.
I remember that.
But it was so funny, and we had the most fun time. The other time when we knew that we knew we had something is when we did Never Alone. Mm-hmm. Like the very first rehearsal in January of last year when we sung Never Alone, and we had everybody, at that point we was like, okay, we got something. But that was a fun time. We always are doing something off the wall, silly. I'm gonna say one more and then I'm done. We were doing our Christmas. We were recording our Christmas stuff, and we had just got done singing This
Lord.
Christmas. Yeah, you already know I'm coming for you. We had just got done singing This Christmas. Why in the world did Skylar start freestyling after we got done singing the song? So we was sitting there, we was over there like just having a good old time singing the song. So it was like we have stuff like that happen all the time. I would hate to see us go on tour because we wouldn't get nothing done.
Ooh.
So do y'all record these moments like just for your archives and just, so if ever somebody put together a documentary, they can look back and say, this is what was happening.
Yeah, that one was definitely recorded.
Yes, and we still have a lot of videos. Like, we still have behind the scenes stuff from the first 2-3 singles that we recorded.
Wow.
So like those are coming out. It's just the fact that we got along so late, and my transition and everything, because I'm the one who got all the videos, but I kept them all, so they will go up there for everybody to see.
All right.
And that's the thing. In practices, it'll go from full-blown worship into like in a moment we'll just start just acting silly, and it's just it's kind of the best thing ever,
Wow. As y'all are singing, do each of the sections, do y'all like challenge each other sometimes? We have about 30 seconds before we go
got
back
a little
there,
friendly competition going on. You got your anointed altos,
Yeah. You have your triumphant tenors and your sanctified sopranos.
But the tenors are always the best. Amen.
Wait a minute.
I can definitely look. The tenor got the vocal student in there, so the tenors are always.
Oh Lord.
Okay.
Nah, it's healthy competition all the time.
All righty. Hold on, y'all. All right. Welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. Look, to hear the rest of the conversation, you got to go back and watch the Facebook Live, the video. So we're going to keep it rolling because this last segment is a little shorter, and I want to make sure they have enough time to share any other upcoming events and to recap the events that are going on. So, who would like to take it away? I'll pick names, so like we're in class.
I guess I'll go ahead. We are having our worship night at the Rock. That is in part with our United Voices Week. The worship night at the Rock will be March 10th at the Rock at NEA at 7 p.m. We're also going to kick off our United Voices Week Monday, March 8th, with our kickoff on the lawn with refreshments and tabling. Also, we're doing an open invitation rehearsal. And then Tuesday will be our game night in the Student Union in the Mockingbird Room, if I'm not mistaken. And it'll be from 6 to 8 p.m. Then, of course, Wednesday is the worship night. Then Thursday is our fundraiser night at Cinnabon. If I'm not mistaken, that's going to be from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then Friday will just be more of a virtual format of reflecting via Instagram and our other social media platforms of what happened during the week, and then just things that's happened over the course of United Voices reinstatement.
Okay, awesome. So Chris, what are some Christopher? What are some events or what are some things that you are most looking forward to, and any final thoughts you would like to share about UV?
I'm definitely looking forward to the game night, getting to fellowship with everybody and listening to Skylar share her faith in her YouTube channel and things like that. I'm also looking forward to the Cinnabon night, obviously.
And y'all gotta sell more than eat.
I'm already talking about food.
Yeah, they get on my nerves.
But really, last year at the Rock, it was a wonderful experience, and I'm very looking forward to doing that again. And really the whole week, United Voices, it's been such a huge part of my college experience. It's like, it's just good to see that we're having a whole week dedicated to UV to be able to do things for the community and things like that.
Okay, awesome. Skylar?
I'm ready for worship night at the Rock. Man, that experience, that that everybody just needs to be there because it's an experience like no other. Like it's just amazing. And that's what I look forward to every year. So I'm ready this year. I got my tissues. I'm ready, baby.
Oh God.
I got plenty in the office.
I'm not wearing any makeup because it's just gonna be ruined. It's gonna be over.
That's what's up. Yes. Like you can't be worried about all this extra stuff when you going into worship because we don't know how the spirit gonna move.
Yes.
Come in with one eyelash on, leave with one off. Well,
No, because if
I didn't know
you
he
get
was
to shouting
alive.
and your wig come off and you stop, then you weren't in worship in the first place. I've seen it.
See, Aaron gonna get me kicked off air. He always
And we had a conversation before the interview, Miss Kabila. I told him, I said, don't get up on here. Act like you
Look,
sense.
Miss Jones, the conviction on their part is not on yours. So there you go. Hallelujah.
Okay. Oh, goodness gracious. So again, for those who may have missed the beginning, we got to let them know again about this single that's out, Lead the Way. Like, can I get just one note, one line, one something from somebody? Just something.
I'll just sing, and we say glory, hallelujah, praise be to the Lamb. There is none like you, Lord. You're the great I am. I'll say yes to your will and yes to your way. Guide me, I will follow. You can lead the way.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Go, Scott. You know you want to hear something. You have to go eat and worship.
No, I'm gonna save mine. I'm gonna save it. I gotta save it.
Alrighty. So during the performance at the Rock, are you all going to sing all of your other original songs as well, or you have something else planned?
More than likely, we're gonna sing guys. So we're gonna sing some of our recordings, and then we're also gonna do songs that everybody else know. That way they can just join in, and it makes it easier and stuff. So yeah.
Okay.
That's gonna be fun.
So we do want to let you all know that all the other songs as well, you can hear them on Kelly K on all Gospel Wednesdays and Sundays. And then you can also find them on the streaming services. So please check them out, buy the download, show them some love and support, because all the money goes back into the choir and it goes to make sure that they can continue to serve the community. Y'all have expenses too. I'm just gonna say that.
Yes.
So.
God, some of y'all bootleg Passion of the Christ back in the day too. I already know.
See,
we're trying to bootleg the Lord.
Oh Lord, no.
Look, excellence costs money. Excellence costs money. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh goodness. Okay, so in the last 2 minutes, Travis, would you like to have anything to share?
That's just definitely keep United Voices lifted up. Definitely keep us in prayers. We're always our objective, and I think the tone that was already there. And then I think the first meeting I had as president, one of the first things at Aaron's meetings, and then when I finally met with the rest of the board, was back in fall 2019. I said, excellence is a must. Anything we do, we want to be of excellence. We want to do it in righteousness. So just know that that's a continuation. Our aim is to serve the community and get involved with the community. Of course, now with COVID, it's kind of hard to go in church and stuff, but once that eases or better precautions come into place, we actually have, I actually divided the whole board into different pods. So we actually have a community engagement pod. And so their job is to sit up there and figure out ways for us to engage with the community, work with me and the vice president and all that sort of thing. So We definitely want to go beyond ASU and beyond Jonesboro. We want to make it known that, we are spreading the gospel.
Well, look, y'all know I'm the community person, so if you need some ideas,
hello.
Absolutely.
Like I'll find something for you to do. I'm one of those teachers. The parents that tell you you don't have nothing to do. I'll find you something to do.
Yep, sounds just like my mama.
Yeah.
So be careful what you ask for.
Well,
But I do want to thank you all for joining me this morning, sharing this information. I want everybody in the community, far and wide, to show your love and support for United Voices Gospel Choir. Download their music, tune into their performances. Don't forget tonight, 7:00, on their Facebook page and YouTube channel. Check out their Black History tribute. Please, these young people are working for God. They could be doing something else, but they choose to be a part of this choir. And so thank you for that. Thank you for tuning in to KLK 102.5 FM. I hope everyone has a great and blessed day. I'm glad the weather's finally back to some kind of normalcy, whatever that means. But hope all of you all have a great and blessed day. If you missed any parts of this conversation, go back to KLK 102.5 FM and catch the video. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you all later. Alrighty, so we're off air. I'm going to stop the Facebook feed.
Community Conversations After Dark.